you for your company. Welcome to the Late Show Live. So much to talk about, although we have to be quite snappy. First of all, your administration, courtesy of you and your colleagues, you have vaporised nearly 400 jihadis in just 9 months, all around the world, ISIS leaders, Al-Qaeda leaders. Yeah. What are you doing differently compared to the Biden administration?
It's very easy to answer. We're letting the world-class warfighters, the intelligence community, do their job. I spent the first 8 days of the administration going around the intelligence community, our tier 1 units, and I was told the same thing by all of them. Please let us kill jihadis. Let us revert to the rules of engagement of the first Trump administration, because under this somnambulant Joe Biden and that clown of a national security advisor, Jake Sullivan, if a combatant commander in the Middle East, in Africa, saw a high-value target, a jihadi who'd killed Americans or was planning to kill Americans, he had to request up the chain all the way to the White House, to the national security advisor, and to Biden to sign off on whether we could engage, which is insanity. And of course, they never wanted to kill anyone. So day 8 of the administration, I walked into the Oval Office with the national security advisor, with a member of my counterterrorism team. We put a big map on the president's desk and said, leading ISIS member in a terrorist camp in Somalia. The Biden administration had been watching him for a year and a half. President looked up from the Resolute desk and said, what do you mean we've been watching him? Kill him. He got out his iconic Sharpie pen, ticked the go box. 27 hours later, I was in the Situation Room watching on the live feeds as that individual was vaporized. He was number one. We, as you said, are up to 370 jihadis who have been turned into red mist because they're a threat to America. We are doing the job Americans want us to do.
And you're not just doing the job killing jihadis, you're also targeting narco-terrorists, the Venezuelans particularly. The situation in the Caribbean and so on, the criticism is that there's no due process. Maybe you should intercept these people, arrest them, put them through the courts. But President Trump was just speaking earlier at the White House, and Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, saying, look, we are protecting Americans. We're doing a service for law enforcement here. Of course, you go along with that. What is the argument for just blowing them out of the water, as you guys have been doing?
Well, very simply, they declared war on us. Under the Biden administration with open borders, over 110,000 Americans were being murdered every year by fentanyl, by illicit drugs being smuggled into this country by the cartels. President Trump said, okay, you're not going to do that on my watch. Under the incredible leadership of Stephen Miller, the Homeland Security Advisor, Secretary of War, love saying that, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and our incredible war fighters, as Rubio, the National Security Advisor, said, we've tried interdiction for 30 years. It doesn't work. They lose 2% of their profit margin. Yeah. They build it into the business plan. He says, now we're going to blow you up, which has a certain psychological effect on those who think they should get into a boat the day after.
And what are they carrying? Is it fentanyl, cocaine? Or just
you name it. Whatever they think can make them the most money, and whatever precursors they think can have the worst effect on the United States. So each of those boats, we're talking about tens of thousands of lives, are being saved each time.
We're living in a time of what feels like pretty significant social change, and it makes us question things that we've even taken for granted for decades. And one of those at the moment that people are wondering about is actually money. Is the money in your bank account safe? Should you be investing elsewhere? Are we looking at a potential global crash? What will it mean for your savings? Is there a way that you could be using your money that might be outside of government control even? Well, TallyMoney is potentially one solution. So I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by the CEO and founder of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. What is TallyMoney?
Well, at TallyMoney, you basically get gold you can spend. So we give people an individual account in their name, everyday account. They get a sort code, an account number. They use that account just like they would pounds from their bank, but it's milligrams of gold that we brand as Tally.
Okay. Why would you do that, though? What is the benefit to the customer instead of just having a normal pound sterling account?
Gold's performance against the pound is above 11% per annum over the last 25 years on average. But we still need money in our daily lives, and we have savings. We know that it's good common sense and prudent to save up for things, not just living credit. You know, whether it's a holiday or a rainy day, your retirement planning, You need to have money in your life, basically, that you can rely on, that's dependable, that nobody meddles with, that nobody can weaponise against you, which is another element of government control when it's the government currency, which we could talk about another time. And it should be pretty simple and straightforward. And that's what we deliver at Tally. And really, we just want people to feel safe and happy with their money. There was a time when the bigger your bank balance, the more confident you felt. Now it's like, I need to do something with it. I can't leave it there. In Tally, you can.
Okay, brilliant. Cameron Parry from TallyMoney, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev.
Talking of boats, Dr. Gorka, we're setting records in the UK. Well,
in another way,
the Labour government is anyway, not us at GB News. But we're unfortunately, the small boat arrivals, the illegal migrants are coming en masse. It's over 50,000 now for the year. Trump, meanwhile, your administration, you've pretty much eradicated illegal migration. In fact, you're setting records for the most amount of forcible deportations, 515,000 so far since January. More than 2 million in total who have voluntarily left, including that as well. What is different, and why can't we just do the same as the Trump administration? What's the difference between the United States and the UK?
Can I just pull out what you just said?
Yes.
This is even shock to me, because Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, Governor Noem, our Secretary of Homeland Security, they're doing an incredible job. But we have over 1 million who've self-deported because they're afraid of Tom Homan, they're afraid of Governor Noem, they're afraid of Stephen Miller. That's when you realize it's working. And let me just, I was at a reception 2 days ago in DC where a very senior British, I won't give him away, member of the government said, yeah, we need to do what you're doing. We need British snipers who are deflating those ribs, those rafts, and not letting them leave the French shore because we need to protect British sovereignty. And I was like stunned.
Hang on, a member of the Labour government said this?
I won't say a member of the government.
Staff.
I'll say somebody who works for the Labour government in a very senior position. He said, I've had it, why can't we do what you're doing? Let me be clear, Make America Great and America First is about sovereignty. You cannot be a nation unless you have borders. We want every country that is a friend, that is an ally, that is a partner, to be sovereign as well. Look at the cartels. If Mexico had full sovereignty, we wouldn't have cartels running rampant across those parts of Mexico.
So what's the reluctance from your
I think it's political correctness gone amok. I don't recognize the nation I was born in. I was born in the UK. I grew up under the premiership of Maggie Thatcher. That would never have happened under Maggie's tenure. I think it's you can't do that, it's mean, and just an unwillingness to stand up for sovereignty. That's the issue.
Are they not betraying British people, though, because they are prioritising the international order, the international law, the international courts and so on, and yet the communities in Great Britain are being ravaged by strange men from far away lands?
I'm not going to tell the British government what to do, but I will say that it is a matter of historic fact. The greatest expression of the people's mandate since the Magna Carta was the Brexit vote. 17.4 million,
yeah.
17.4.
Biggest ever.
And what was that about? National sovereignty. Well, let's see that respect for the mandate of the people in every nation of the Western world. Whether it's the UK, whether it's the US, you cannot have a country unless you have borders and you have actual sovereignty. It's not a political statement, it's a matter of fact. Like when the president says, you don't let men into girls' changing rooms, that's not a political statement.
Yeah.
That's a factual one.
Dr. Gorka, do you think we'll get there? Do you think we're a few years behind the United States? Do you think we'll use what's going on here as a platform for better times?
The president is close to Nigel Farage. I think Brexit, you don't have MAGA without Brexit. I think all of these things are intertwined. I believe in the revivification of the spirit of Blighty, the Tommies, the Bulldog spirit, Churchill, Maggie. So I haven't written off the UK. And in my field in counterterrorism, let me be very blunt and on the record, our partnership in counterterrorism is incredible. I mean, truly incredible. I went to Hereford a few months ago to visit the SAS, visit the regiment. So yeah, there is hope.
Last question. I'll have this debate, I pose this question to all Americans, particularly who work in counter-terror or sheriffs, whoever, the military.
Yeah.
Who is the more supreme specialist force, the SAS or SEAL team?
I have an individual on my team who comes from a certain part of the US Tier 1 community. I don't want to get in trouble with him tomorrow morning, John. I think it is a band of brothers. I think 22 SAS, Delta Force, the Green Berets, the SEAL Team 6, they are a band of brothers.
All right, very diplomatic. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, thank you. Sebastian Gorka, assistant to the president, head of counter-terror here. He's been diplomatic about the SAS. I'll go on the record. Of course it's the SAS, although big respect to SEAL Team 6, etc. over here. Right, let's get some reactions to that now with my panel. Reporter for the Daily Caller, Ashley Bracefield, and the political commentator, Hilary Fordwich. Good evening, ladies. Thank you for your company. What's your take from that interview there with Dr. Gorka? You were just mentioning off-air about the parallels between the US and the UK right now.
Yeah, I think, Ben, that's what's really important. It's that all these highfalutin political theories and things that people go out on a limb about trans issues, people really care about the same things both sides of the Atlantic. They care about their security, but they also care about their, in America, pocketbook issues, and in England, handbag issues, I suppose. But people care about their success, their families, and they say their safety and their security. And I think that's what you're seeing. The illegal issue in the US, the invasion across the southern border, and the small boats in the UK, that's really driving this. In Wales, they've literally been invaded. I think the people there have actually had enough. And then the second part is with regard to, your own family success. You drive through small town America, and it's the same in England, because I've been in England in the same sort of areas. My mummy used to refer to it as the Lanes Way, not the motorways, the Lanes Way. And the Lanes Way in Virginia, the little restaurants are shut, little shops are shut, and these villages and towns are failing. And that's what people feel, that's what they're voting against.
Yeah, well said. And actually, so there are parallels. However, I guess the difference is people in England and the UK would argue President Trump is making massive changes. You've stamped out migration, illegal migration. You've got some growth, which is a strange word to us in the UK. GDP is just non-existent. So apparently, on the surface, you guys are doing things that we're not.
Right. Yeah. I mean, certainly that they're trying to crack down. We had over 20 million immigrants let them into our country basically over these last few years. So getting those people out, and I think the issue now is getting them out faster. How do we do that? How do we do that effectively? Of course, with GDP, the president, that was a campaign promise he made on the campaign trail, of course. But, I think feeling it, like you said, in small towns across America, that's what's going to matter. Campaign promises, which is, in the world of politics, impossible, it seems like sometimes. But, I think doing great things. And I think the drug issues particularly affects everyone across the country, whether it has no bounds, whether class, in society.
Yeah. The bottom line is the globalists are being eliminated. The globalists wanted to have this mass immigration. The globalists wanted cheap labor.
Well, they are here, yeah. The globalists are being run out of town. Well, what, in the UK as well?
Well, I'm saying it's the same issue. It's the same issue. The globalists want to eliminate little shops, little towns, little people.
Yeah, but I think the difference is they're being eliminated here, the globalists, but in the UK, we are firmly under their foot, especially right now.
And that's why you have
not necessarily in Wales anymore.
Not necessarily in Wales, but here with Donald Trump in charge, that is the case. When you have Keir Starmer, who's not listening, that's the difference.
You're right.
Yes.